Ballgame. What's going on? 5 o'clock. Here we go on a Wednesday. Had a good show so far. Talk some Mountain West Media Days. 2 weeks from today, Prater and myself, Johnny Ballgame, will be broadcasting Idaho Sports Talk from Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, where we're going to be talking to all the coaches you want to hear from, all the top players in the league you want to get to know, and we're going to do what we do. We're going to make sure that Boise State fans and Bronco Nation, Prater, they know more about the Mountain West 2024 football season than they've known about any year in the conference. That's the coverage we're going to bring them, and starts in 2 weeks. So we wanted to take a little peek at kind of the storylines, what's going to be on the shelf 2 weeks from today. Boise State Media Day storylines. That's what we're doing.
Ball game. I'm beginning to feel it just a little bit. I know how fans feel right now. Every single day you wake up and you're one day closer to the football season. And yeah, 2 weeks from now, we're going to be in Vegas. I can't wait to do that. 3 straight shows, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to spend an entire day with coaches, an entire day with football players, and we'll have all your polls, preseason stuff, and we're going to talk a little storylines with Boise State. We talked a little Mountain West storylines earlier. We're going to kind of rehash some of that, but let's dive into some Mountain West storylines and what we expect when we go to Vegas in 2 weeks.
This is number one for me, and this is not a Mountain West this season for me that's filled with all these wonderful storylines. There are some good ones, though. In the 6 first-time coaches is wonderful. I love that storyline. We love talking coaches. We love talking to coaches, all this stuff, including Spencer Danielson. And there's 5 others who are going to be in year 1 with their new gig. We're counting Spencer. This is year 1 as the full-time coach. Last year, Prater, as you know, he was on an interim basis. Number one storyline for me, though, surrounding Boise State, who's going to finish second in the Mountain West media poll? You voted, I voted, every other member of the media. Hopefully they voted because I think it was due today, Prater.
Yesterday.
But we have Mountain West polls where we rank them 1 through 12. Their exact order of finish in this league. You and I are saying we're going to be really surprised if we even see, 1 or 2 or 3 other votes for number 1 for another team. So I ask you, who do you think? You know, and where do you think the media is going to go? What team is going to be picked second?
I went with UNLV. And I don't know if the rest of the media is going to go there. So I didn't directly answer your question, and I apologize for that. Because I don't know. Because I think you can make a case. You
picked UNLV on your poll.
I picked UNLV because I've been sucked into the Barry Odom, into the Barry Odom.
Okay.
And I really like this guy. I like the way he conducts his business. I love the fact that he stayed. This dude could have gone in a second and been justified to do it. Options here, options there. And he stayed. He's loyal to that program. I don't know how long that's going to last. So we got to know him last year in Las Vegas. I guarantee you we're going to talk to him in Las Vegas 2 weeks from today. I really do like this guy. I like the way he conducts his business. And I thought it was the Boise State experience in the Mountain West Championship game was a lot of fun. I thought he handled it really well. I really like his football team. I think he's got some nice players. I also think that he might be better in the transfer portal. And the results are early, and there's not a lot of them, but I think he might be better in the transfer portal than anybody in the Mountain West Conference.
Yeah, he has the resources to be awesome in the portal, and right? It's Vegas, baby.
And he comes from SEC territory. Yeah. He comes from all kinds of places, and I think he taps into that, and I think he's playing the transfer portal game better than anybody. Boise State's never been great at the transfer portal. They're getting better. We'll see how that shakes out. Air Force doesn't do the transfer portal. I got that number 4. Fresno State's dabbling a little bit. I got Boise State, UNLV, Fresno State, Air Force, with maybe an outside contending shot for Wyoming, but they got a new coach that I have absolutely no faith in. So I'm going to stick with my top 4 and leave it at that ballgame.
And who'd you pick last?
San Jose State.
Okay.
I'm back on the anti-San Jose State bag. When Brian Brennan's gone, I know Nia Matatalolo is there now, and we all love that guy. And I think he's going to be okay, but he was bad at Navy for 7 years?
It didn't end well, but man, he had some marvelous years. Didn't he beat Army like 10 straight years or something?
No, maybe. Yeah, okay, maybe. Yeah. But his time at Navy ended pat. And I'm not just talking about 1 or 2 years. Go look at his last 5 or 6 or 7 seasons.
Was it that many of them? Okay.
Maybe not quite that many, but I like him. I think he's cool, but the fact that I think it's a desperate reach when it comes to a coach. I don't see a lot of success there. He doesn't bring a lot of leverage into San Jose State, and maybe he built something, but I don't think it's going to happen this year.
Okay. Who do you guys text us? 208-424-9300. Who do you think's going to finish second in the Mountain West preseason poll?
Who you got, Skippy? Come on, who you got?
Media. I have Fresno State.
Okay.
finishing second in the Mountain West this year.
Because
Why?
you like their
Well,
quarterback.
I love the quarterback and I like the head coach and I like the tradition. Fresno State has won 10 plus games 4 times in the last 7 years. And if I get rid of COVID, that's 4 times in the last 6 years. Fresno State has been able to win 10 plus games. I thought Fresno had a down year last year. They finished 9-4. They totally puked away the league. They should have been playing in the Mountain West Championship game over Boise State, but they lost to New Mexico. They were ranked at one point in the year last year, Fresno. Remember, they had those 2 Power 5 victories early on. They beat Purdue week 1. I think they followed up with somebody else, or maybe it wasn't a power gig, Prater. But I have Fresno. Just kind of, they're the old reliable for me, Fresno State. I picked them to finish second in this league. And last, I picked Hawaii to finish in dead last in this league this year. I'm like Hawaii, like you are with San Jose State. I just don't buy what Timmy Chang is trying to build on the island. And I think they have so many other problems with that university and the athletic department that being good in football again is a long ways away, despite their starting quarterback, who I think you're going to wear his jersey this year. Now, Prater's in love with Hawaii's quarterback.
Well, I'm not in love with him. He's the best of a really bad crop, guys. The quarterback situation, this will be a storyline for sure in 2 weeks in Las Vegas when we're at Circa Resort. I think the wide receiver class, I haven't done 25 years of research. I'm going to bet that the wide receiver class, the wide receiver group in the Mountain West this year is the best it's ever been in the history of this conference.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really good and dominant, but I don't see a lot of great quarterbacks. I don't see any great quarterbacks. And I did vote for Brian Shager as the conference quarterback. You voted for Keene. And it's one of those two.
They're the only players that were nominated for player of the year, but for quarterback of the year preseason, there was a few others mentioned. Yeah. Did Mad Dog get a mention on there? Could you put Mad Dogs on there?
He wasn't. You could, but okay. I don't think they put him on there. So,
all right.
Mad Dog wasn't on there, Malachi, and we'll see how the season plays out. So the quarterback situation in the Mountain West is really, really bad, but Shager is going to be fine. I think Hawaii is going to win 5 games,
okay.
And maybe push to be bowl eligible. But we'll see how that shakes out. I know they've kind of been in a downward spiral for about 4 years. And you're right. They got a whole bunch of stuff. And Timmy Chang's just a name. He's just a name. I don't know how much substance there is. So we'll see how that plays out. But I do like their quarterback.
Hawaii Rainbow Warriors back to? Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Boise State is on the island this year, October 12th. Other storylines, Prater, we're looking for Boise State. We talked about who we think is going to come in second in this league. Who do we think is going to be this year's Barry Odom, if you will? We talked about that a little bit too. Which of these first-year coaches is going to have the most success? For Boise State too, like, this is kind of cheesy, and we're kind of the best. Sorry, BJ. We're the best in town. It's speculating over possible media day Mountain West storylines. If you remember a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Me and you were the first saying it's fishy that Hank Bachmeier, a 4-year starting quarterback, was not invited to media days to represent the school. And we were told a number of reasons why, and all great. And I can't remember who they sent that year. It was John Ujuku.
That's right.
They sent OJ, who was also a senior offensive lineman, but
quietly spoken, not promoting the program the way it should be promoted.
Yeah, and Hank was great at all that stuff too. But we were saying, dude, this is weird. And then I think we kind of justified ourselves because Hank was gone 2 months later.
Well, yeah, but it kind of brewed. I don't know if that was the first one, but it may have been. They're not taking him to media days. That was weird. Then he didn't get the billboard outside on Broadway.
He didn't get a banner.
Then
that was weird too, man.
And then he didn't get the team voting captainship either. Remember that?
Didn't vote him captain.
And by the time we put all 3 together, we opened up the season and we looked at each other and said, okay, Boise State's in trouble. And as you said, 2 weeks later, he was gone. So with that said, sometimes it's kind of fun to look at who Boise State's going to send. We have no idea who Boise State's going to send. They get to send one offensive player, one defensive player. Maybe they can slip in a special teamer. As you can take 2 players and from different sides of the ball. Ashton Genty will not be going to Las Vegas Media Days to represent Boise State, which is a shame. But Circa Resort's an all-21 place, and he's not 21. Did reach out to Boise State today and ask if Maddox Madsen was 21. I was told we'll get back to you on that one. Have not heard an answer from that one yet.
Yeah, Mad Dog's the same exact class as Ashton Genty. Got here the same time. So if Genty's not 21 yet, there's a chance Mad Dog isn't either.
Hassanin, I think, is going to who's I think 30. No, he's not, but he's an experienced, mature man, and I think he's going to represent Boise State's defense and represent them well. His story is going to be fantastic.
That's who you expect to get the.
Yeah, offensively, I don't know. I mean, I think I would probably send down Jonah Dalmas at this point.
You would. I'm kind of leaning towards Latrell Caples. I think he's earned it. I know he's a senior. Hell, he was a Harsin recruit. He's very hungry to get back in the swing of things. He's a skill position player. I could maybe see Latrell Caples too, but man, it's Jonah, even though he's a kicker, he's chasing down the #1 kicking record in America. There's not a better kicking record than most field goals made in college football history. It's better than the longest kick made. So it means you were better for a long time. That's the record Jonah's chasing down. That would be some good copy for other media members to talk to the Boise State kicker who might become the all-time leader. But, I mean, Latrell Caples would be good too. I don't know. I'm leaning towards Latrell. I always like the skill position players a little more than the kickers, because who am I now? Every year when we see the punter or the kicker make it, we just look at ourselves and go, oh, Wyoming sent its kicker. Scratch him off. There's another guest who won't be coming on Idaho Sports Talk. Like, we look at the list, Prater, and half of them we're like, do we really want to do an interview with the right guard at Air Force?
No, we don't. But I think Jonah would also be a great representation for this program. But whether, the radio station in Laramie wants to feature him, you're right. I'm not sure. Latrell Caples isn't going to sell Boise State the way Jonah can, but he deserves it. And I love his story, and he's a great dude. When we had him here in the studio, it was spectacular. So if that happens, how about this storyline?
What?
Spencer Danielson, how will he approach his first ever media days? And we know that he's going to be the same guy there, that he's the same in life, because he's always just the same.
Oh my God.
But how will the media respond to a different kind of coach? To me, that's a big storyline. I can't wait to read articles in San Diego and Fresno and Reno and Salt Lake and Laramie and Denver and all these other markets that send people to media days. And they're going to talk about Spencer Danielson and how he came off.
Everybody, by the way, how it works is you kind of request who you want and whatnot, all the media outlets. Everyone will request Spencer Danielson. Yes. He's the Boise State coach. Whether they know anything about him or not, they're just going to be like, we want the Boise State guy. And he'll go on Radio Row. He'll go on with our boys, Hans and Scotty. They're there. My boy Nate Kreckman over in Denver. He'll be there. And I can't wait to read their social media tweets after they just have 10 minutes with Danielson.
Yeah.
Because Prater, they're going to be stunned. Especially last year, they interviewed, Fort Knox Avalos, right?
Oh.
Right? I mean, yeah. Last year they got Andy, who's, love him, a boring, stinking interview. Spencer isn't, and Spencer. He's going to go into those towns. He's going to take this as a recruiting opportunity.
Absolutely.
He's going to go in there and talk on Denver sports radio and talk about Shea Oladipo, and they need a million other Shays to come here. And, they're going to love him. I'm guessing, and we'll see about the other coaches. I really want to talk to Jeff Choate. I want to get the Boise State angle with him, and I can't wait to talk to him about how he's going to get Reno a heartbeat again when it comes to college football. My Vandals embarrassed Nevada last year, if you remember. I don't think Nevada got in the red zone the whole game against the Vandals in Reno. But yeah, that and I'll say this again, Sean Lewis, what's he going to be able to build initially at San Diego State and get them better? Prater, I picked San Diego State to finish 3rd in the Mountain West this year. That was a big risk, big jump for me. I
took a bigger risk. You know where I put him?
Where?
9th.
Wow. So you got San Diego State finishing 9th in the Mountain West. That means they're going to be 4-8, 3-9.
New coach.
Yeah.
Don't know enough about him.
Yeah.
Disrespecting offense for way too many years there. Apathetic fan base, crowd. I don't see a ton of greatness coming out of that program right now. So I am absolutely on the anti. I need to see it. I'm on the wait and see. I need to wait and see it. I don't see a lot of great skill players coming out of there. I don't think I voted for a single. I'm looking at my list here. I didn't vote for a single San Diego State guy on my all preseason ballot.
I'm looking at mine right now. Offense, I did not have a San Diego State guy. Defense, I do not have a San Diego State guy, nor do I on special teams. San Diego State may not be represented in the preseason team.
I'll take my 9th over your 3rd right now. But you know what? Back to what you said about Nevada. The Mountain West is better when San Diego State is good.
Prater, what if Danielson gets off to a rocky start?
0-2.
Okay. And Jeff Choate is 2-0.
Who do they open with?
And he is just on fire. And Jeff Choate looks like an instant extension hire. Like Jeff Choate looks like the best hire since Chris Alt. And Nevada is just popping early. How is a Boise State fan going to handle Spencer not having a lot of success and then Choate going to Reno and knocking the cover off the ball? By the way, Nevada, week 1, SMU in Reno. It's an ACC team now. That's kind of weird. Week 2, they're at Troy. So it's not completely unheard of for Nevada to start maybe 1-1. I don't think they can beat SMU, but if they do, holy shnikes, man.
Did you see who they play week 3?
Yeah, Georgia Southern.
Common denominator, baby.
Yeah, Boise State and Georgia Southern. Boise State and Nevada have a common opponent in Georgia Southern, along with several other Mountain West teams. But yeah, I mean, if Choate can get it going in Reno and Spencer stumbles, what's Boise State fan going to say? I mean, that's going to be a tough pill. I'm not saying it'll happen. I don't think it'll happen, but man, part of me wants to see. I'm not a Boise State fan. I'll say this. A lot of me, I want to see Choate lift Reno and make them Mountain West relevant, Prater.
I do too, but I also want them to get crushed by Boise State. I have no problem saying that.
You do?
I do. I just don't like their football team. I don't like that town.
So that's a game that you'll root for Boise State when they play Nevada.
1,000%.
Is that?
Although I do love Choate. I mean, I will always love Choate. I'll always have a soft spot for Choate. I can't stand Reno. Can't stand Nevada football. Can't stand the sleazy hotels downtown Reno. So I'm moving on from Reno, but I hope Choate makes them better for sure.
Is Reno, do you think Nevada's the number 1 team Boise State fan enjoys beating in the Mountain West?
Yes, but lately it hasn't been that fun.
Yeah. 208-424-9300. Shout us out on the Cloverdale Plumbing text line. What Mountain West opponents does Boise State like beating the most? Appreciate our audience from Dollar Loan Center. This is our video segment. You can find this on our YouTube channel. By the way, subscribe to the KTIK Sports Radio, the Ticket YouTube channel, brought to you by Dollar Loan Center. Visit don'tbebroke.com if you're in need of a loan. Dollar Loan Center. JP, we'll be back on the other side. Prater in the ball game.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studios, this is Ticket Traffic.